What's up, guys? It's Pete, PeteIce.com. I hope you guys are doing good. I just want to say I hope you guys had a great weekend. I had an awesome weekend. Even with the snow, everyone's complaining about it. I don't even have a phone anymore. I am using this one. It actually has a dial tone, so if you kids out there don't know what this is, that's the sound of a dial tone, okay? Not only that, I have to punch in numbers. I have to punch in, and I have to remember the numbers. That's weird. That's awesome. I have to punch in numbers. I have to memorize the numbers now. So it's like, Natalie's number, 917, blah, 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 blah. I know it. I'm not going to say it, though, because I want you prank calling her, man. So, let's see what I was wanting to talk about. Someone hit me up with an email and was like, hey, Pete, very happy for your success in your business. Crank's looking great. You, Rob, Danny, everyone looks like they're doing great things. How did you guys get to where you're at? And that's a huge question. I could probably talk about this for a long time, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to keep it pretty short, okay? When I first started, I always relate what I do here with how I did anything else in life, how I did wrestling and how I did stand-up and all that stuff. And it really relates to stand-up. And then I watched the documentary yesterday on Chris Rock. It was a half-an-hour one. I forget the name of it, and it was really interesting with what he said. Okay, so how did you become a good trainer? How did you open up a business? How did you do that stuff? First things first is that I became a great trainer. And that was it. And then when you start to become a great trainer, you learn more and more, and you network with the right coaches and the right people. And what happens these days is that people just think that you can become a trainer in like a month. And you can get certified as one, but at the same time, are you really doing justice to the field? Are you really doing justice to our craft? I've spent 15, almost a little over 15 years. I don't even know. I started when I was 18. I started working out when I was 13. I'm 35 now. I can't even do math right now, but it was a long time. All right, I went through the trial and errors. I've been through 1,000 seminars. I got private coaching. I've been coached myself. I've been through the ringer and I made those mistakes, and that's why I am where I am today. Because I know how to train different types of people. I know how to train a lot, and I still have a lot to learn. Okay, the spectrum is all the way up here. There's so many smart people up there. If you ever hang out with like the Cressy people and FMS guys, those guys, I don't even understand. And then you got the other guys, a lot of the guys with the CNS talk. I went to Mike Robertson's seminar, and it blew me away. It blew me away of how stupid I am. You know, these guys are at this spectrum of knowledge, and they understand everything from kinesiology to anatomy to nerves to systems, and it went crazy. I take those versions and I make it my own version. I make it still, I implement what they say, and I understand to a point, but I don't engulf myself in it because I learned what they did, and then I take it to my own. And that's what it is, guys. It's learning from different people, going to different things, but becoming a master at one. Okay, like MMA. Everyone says MMA's wash. It's crap. It's not one thing. It's not one specific style. It's not. But they become pretty good at a bunch of them. But you still have to be a master at one. And I go back to what I was saying before. Was Chris Rock. Chris Rock, if you didn't know much about him, when he first started, he just went to an open mic. He went to go see Eddie Murphy, and he saw a thing for like, hey, come try out, and it was at Catch a Rising Star, and he just went up on stage, and he got a couple laughs here and there, and the club owner said he passed, and he didn't know what that meant. You know, that just meant like you were allowed to go on stage for time, for a couple minutes a day, and he went there every single day for 9 years straight. 9 years straight. He says he never dated a girl because he would be there every single day, working his craft, working it, getting the punches, getting better at what it was, becoming a voice. And then till after that, that's when you start seeing him on like Saturday Night Live and like Do the Right Thing. He might have been in like little small bits. And then he tried getting into the movies and doing all that stuff there. Then he got into SNL and he got into sketch comedy, and then he got into this and he got into that. But he said, and he admitted that he was never good at it. You know, he was good, he was never great. And it wasn't until he made the decision to stop going to auditions and stop doing all the other things and just became great at becoming a comedian. And then that's when he started to strive. That's when his voice was becoming. He would go on stage and kill it, just ranting. His sets were getting longer. He was punching it all day long. He became a master at one. And that's what I do. I become a master at one thing. Alright, there's a lot of things I could do out there. I could do the internet marketing. I could go out there and do boot camps, and I could do speaking, and I could go make a product, and I could do this, and I could do that. But what's the one thing I know I'm good at? That's training other people and helping other people get better. And I'm going to become a master at that. And that's why I'm successful. I'm successful because I mastered one thing. I know how to do everything else, but I mastered one thing. And that was the same thing with stand-up comedy. I didn't go out and try to do improv. I tasted it a little bit. I did a little bit of sketch. I went out there and I did this, but every day I would write. I wasn't the greatest one either, you know, because I stopped it, because I just didn't like the lifestyle, but I got to a point where I wanted to be. I thought it was pretty funny. Maybe some people didn't, but I thought it was pretty funny. But I became a master at one thing. Same thing with wrestling. When I was wrestling, I wasn't allowed to go to schools. My parents wouldn't let me go to wrestling schools all the time, and they wouldn't pay for it. So what I would do is I'd watch my friends. I'd watch my friends and I'd videotape them. It's weird, right? And then I'd watch college videotapes, and I just watch and watch, and I put them in slow motion, and I would just copy what they were doing. But I would practice that same move over and over and over and over again. And I only had like 3 moves. I wasn't that good, but I was good enough for what I did for the time that I was. All right, I wasn't a state champ, but I was great at a double leg takedown. After a while, it's going to stop, but I became great at it. It took me far enough. Okay, so right now, I practice on being a great trainer, a great person, a great someone that's here to help someone. And that's my focus. So if you're looking to open up your business and become a good trainer, you got to get in the craft. You got to step in that nightclub every day of the week for 9 years straight. And then you got to take punches. And then you got to figure out where you're going to go. So in the long run, it is a long run. It's not a short run. This is a marathon, not a sprint. And what we do is not just something you could do out of nowhere, because sooner or later you're going to run out of your ideas and you're going to start hurting people. All right? So my main takeaway for you guys that asked that question was to learn the craft, get dirty, and take your time doing it. Don't try to rush it. It's Pete. I'll see you guys later. PeteUp.com.